Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Fishing Adventures with Judah Clark. You know who I've got here, the beautiful Kimber Blackfin Clark. She's so tired. She has such a hard life. It's so terrible. You have one job to do and you can't even keep your head up. Kids these days. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about a little trip that we did out to Dry Tortugas. Got some water pumping out of the boat. It's been raining. It's actually been terrible weather lately. We went down to the Keys and we were trying to spearfish for John Coates' birthday. We literally got in 2 hours of diving and it just poured like most of all the weekend, really rough. We couldn't dive at all. I mean, it was like so bad that I had the boat tied up with 4 dock lines and 2 of them broke free.
It's terrible, man, terrible.
One of them wore right through. I had another one almost wore through and another one pulled the cleat right off the pole. And man, we almost lost her. Oh, you're getting up? You up and at 'em? So yeah, we're talking about Dry Tortugas. Trip I went on last year was my first time ever to Tortugas, and I definitely want to go there again in the future. It kind of reminds me of Bahamas. It's like Bahamas except for you can use spear guns. And one of the coolest trips I've ever had, one of the most memorable trips I've ever had, with some really good friends of mine, 2 of my best dive buddies ever, Plonner and Killian. I never know how to say his last name. Killian something. What the frick is Killian's last name? He's gonna kill me. You know, some friends you don't even ever have to use their last name. Killian Doughney. D-O-U-G-H-N-E-Y. You know, I've always wanted to ask him how to spell his last name or say his last name, but I never wanted to be embarrassed about it. And here I am doing it right here on YouTube. Pretty damn funny, but no, he's one of my best dive buddies. I like to spear with him as much as I can. Fortunately, he lives so far north, I don't get to spear with him as often as I would like. But this guy is highly knowledgeable. He's been spearfishing up in Jupiter and Stewart like his whole life. Has shot a lot of wahoo, and to be honest, I learned quite a bit about hunting wahoo from him. And so I was really stoked to be going on this trip with him, Plonner, Morgan Matson, and that's it. It's just us. Were you there? No, I don't think Kimber was there. And we were basically going out to Dry Tortugas. We were gonna camp out there for a couple of days, like 2 nights, and just spear our hearts out. Chris has got a really nice 32-foot Southport center console, and we shot out of Key West. You know, on going on a trip like this, many of you know you're looking for a good weather window. And a lot of times everyone has conflicting schedules. You find a date that works for everyone and you just pray and hope that the weather is good for that particular date. Well, this was one of those times, and miraculously we were blessed with like the best weather you could possibly get. I mean, it was absolutely just flat, calm, blue skies, just beautiful. It was cool. We couldn't ask for better weather for crossing. It's about an 80-mile trek down to the Dry Tortugas, and we were gonna stop by a little area called Marquesas that has some really clear water, see how that water was, because we were gonna be hunting wahoo. And for wahoo, you need really clear water. So my buddy Killian has told me over and over again And so that's what we were going to stop by and see, and you know, looking for them whoos.
You know, when you were asking Judah about putting the flasher down deep, the reason why I said yes is when it's higher like that, you're drawing the fish to us, and then they see us and they don't want to come. If you draw them down 35 feet below you, you know, you kind of, you know, it sometimes, again, it kind of puts them on that level where if a fish is swimming towards you on the surface, you can't see it because you're too high in the water to be seen. When they're down a little bit more, you notice we see them a little easier. They come in on a deeper level.
Yeah, I think that was a good move.
Yeah, yeah.
We finally get to the Marquesas, and we've got some clear water. Whoa, it's blue as crystal clear. Bro, this water is so clear, it's awesome. You know, before going out there, we're in this group chat and we're talking about how nice it would be to have some bait. And I went down to the local boat ramp and started cast netting some bait, and a lady came out and told me, you can't cast net at the public boat ramps for bait. I didn't know that, so I stopped. And I just had a couple of little bags. Just so happened that 2 days before this trip, I had a ton of pilchards just come through my dock light.
This is the biggest school of fish that I've seen around this light. This is absolutely massive.
And was able to just stock up on so much bait. Man, I think that's enough. So much bait that it like lasted me through this trip and a couple of others. Killian, throw some pilchards on us from time to time. But just totally loaded up with 4 buckets full of bait, and was really great. So throughout this entire trip, we had enough bait to just be trickling down pilchards the entire time, which is bringing up the muttons, the wahoos get all curious, everything. So when we found our first spot, I threw in some pilchards and kind of made a mistake. So I had 2 guns with me. I had my Koa, which is my reef gun, which is the gun that I first started learning on, could hit anything, anywhere with that gun. And then I had a new Seawolf that was kind of more of a blue water gun with me. You know, thinking that we were going to be drifting over this kind of ledge, I decided to bring my reef gun, and I was gonna jump in there and hopefully shoot a big mutton for dinner.
Get us one, buddy.
And just didn't really realize what was awaiting me on that first drop, because wouldn't you know, as soon as we got in there, 2 wahoo just swam right up to me. I make a drop down, I'm down there, I look over, and I see what looks like 2 little mackerel just getting closer and closer and bigger, and then all of a sudden those mackerel turn into wahoo. And one came right up to me, and if I would have had a bigger gun, I think I would have had a shot, but I didn't have a shot with that reef gun. I knew the range of that gun, and I decided to not take that shot and miss and spook the fish, because one of the things Killian told me is, if you don't have a shot, don't take it. That'll keep those fish around, not to spook them, and that's what I did. Yeah, there's 2 wahoo right here. No, there's 1 barracuda and 2 wahoo.
We got wahoo!
Really good sign that we jumped in there and first thing had an opportunity on a wahoo. We hadn't even made it to Dry Tortugas yet, and it was really exciting for the trip to already have 2 opportunities on a wahoo.